Hello everyone, this is the FIDE Master Santagati, and welcome to this new video. In this video I will comment the game that I played against Theodoros Tsekouras from Greece. I played this game this year in the Greek Team Championship. I played the Master League. It was my first time in the Master League, and it was a great experience for me. I played very interesting games, and this game was, I think, the most beautiful of my games in the tournament, and I like to share this game with you. I played with white. I played e4, and after e4, e5, d4, ed4, knight f3, knight c6. I think my opponent thought that I could play now c3. You know, I made a very interesting series about this opening. If I play c3, it's the Scotch Gambit. I played very interesting 10 videos in this channel. If you didn't see the videos, take a look. It's very interesting series. It's a complete series about this opening. But I prefer to play a surprise, so play bishop c4. So the Scotch Gambit. Maybe in the future I can also make a series about that. I didn't play it so much, but I have a good knowledge. So bishop c4 is a very interesting and aggressive way to play against e5. This move order, the Scotch Gambit. Well, black played knight f6, the main line, and now e5. We must play dynamic chess, and e5 can attack immediately the knight. d5. That's a good option now. Attack the bishop. It's bad for me to take the knight, because after dc4, black is better. Because black can defend the pawn. Oh, sorry. Wait, what happened? I mean, black can defend the pawn on d4, and black has a very strong center. Black can defend with bishop e6, so I don't like this position for white. And now bishop b5 to pin the knight, and knight e4. Knight takes d4, bishop d7 to defend the knight on c6, and now bishop takes c6. It's very important to take with the bishop, because if you take with knight, I don't like this position, because then you have to move again the bishop. And in this kind of position, I prefer have the knight, because this knight on d4 can also help me to maybe block in the future the square to c5 and block the square to block the black flanks. So, okay. It's also playable this, but I think it's much better for you play bishop takes c6, pawn takes, and castle. Bishop c5, and now I think I made a little mistake. Maybe it's not a mistake, but an accuracy for me, because I played now bishop e3. I think it's better if you want to play this opening. For you, it's better play first f3, then, oh sorry, what happened? I think first f3, after that knight g5. Now I suggest you to play f4, knight e4, bishop e3, and this position is completely fine for white. In the game, I played a different move order, and okay, it's playable but not very strong. I think bishop e3 I played, and I played queen e7, and now queen e7 is the best move. The idea is tricky, because if I play f3, now black can play knight e6, and black can reach a good position, because after knight e6, I can't take the knight, because there is queen e3, queen d4, so I lose 2 pieces, because it's check. And after that, if I play f4 now, there is knight c4, and black is better, because the knight is very strong now, and I have huge problems to defend all. So, my tip is play the different move order. Okay, in theory, after knight e6 and bishop f2, this position is playable for white. Is okay, because black can take the pawn because there is rook e1, and black loses the queen. But I don't think it's so good to play this variation, because after knight f5, knight takes f5, and bishop f5, black is okay. Maybe black is also slightly better. So the correct move order for white is not play bishop e3. So my move was okay in accuracy now, but is play f3 first. I played bishop e3, and he played queen e7. Now I played f3. And after knight g5, f4, because now he made a mistake. Knight e6 is the best move, but probably he made a little confusion about the theory. Maybe he didn't understand very well why it was very important play queen e7 immediately, and queen e7 is good only for knight e6. If you play now queen e7 and you play knight g5, black will reach a bad position, and it happened in the game. So now f4, knight e4, and now I can propose the trade on d2, knight takes d2, and queen d2. And after castle, now I play an important move, rook e1, because my idea is avoid f6. And f6 is a very, very important move for black to try to destroy my center, my structure. F6 is a very important move for black. With rook e1, f6 is not possible, because after f6 there is a very strong reply, e6. And white is wonderful now, wonderful position, because if bishop takes e6, white is winning a piece, because then I can take the bishop on c5, so that's bad. And okay, so f6 now doesn't work, and black played bishop b6. And now the black idea is play c5 and d4 to counterplay, to have activity. But what can I do? I can simply block the square c5 with knight b3. Why I block it? Because okay, I'm attacking 2 times c5, maybe there are 2 defenders, but if black pushes the pawn, I can win the pawn on d5. So c5 is not possible, and after bishop f5, I completely block the square c5 playing queen c3. And now c5 is blocked, and my queen is attacking c6, and I can attack the weakness. So queen e6 was played by black, and now bishop c5 to block, completely block the position, and in the future allow queen knight e4, because the knight on d4 can be very strong for me. And now black played the rook b8 to make pressure against b2, and I played king h1. King h1 probably is a little mistake. I should play immediately knight d4 and have a strong position after queen d7, and after simply b3, my position completely fine. It's perfect. I defend whole, and black is always blocked. I played king h1, and continue with bishop c5, queen c5, and queen d7. Now I can keep the position blocked for black. I must play queen c3. If I play queen c3, I can always keep the position blocked, because rook b5 is not playable for knight d4, and the rook b6 and, for example, b3. And black is as huge problems now, because I can always threaten to take here, to push on e6, and not an easy position for black. Now white has a clear advantage. But I made a mistake. I made a mistake because now, after rook, I played the rook e3 instead of queen c3, the strong move for me. And after rook e3, I allow black to unblock the position, and black played the rook b5, queen c3. And now it didn't see a strong move. Black can play c5, and after c5, black is fine. Maybe black is also slightly better, because if I take the pawn, c5, there is d4. And after knight takes d7, I lose the piece, because you can take hit, and then if I move my knight, I don't have other squares, so my knight is lost. So it can play c5, but he didn't. He played the rook b8, and now after rook g3, I think the position is equal, and the rook g3 is interesting because I'm threatening rook takes g7. So, for example, if black plays a useful move like c5 now, I can play rook g7, king g7, and e6, and I'm winning, because after d4, I can play first check on g3, and then I can win the queen. So now the game is lost. So after rook g3, my threat is interesting, and he must avoid that. So he played g6 to avoid this threat, and now I played rook e1 to support the pawn e, to have the option in the future also maybe to weaken the structure pushing e6. Rook b4, and now black is dangerous. Black is dangerous because this rook is attacking f4 and is covering a lot of good squares. So after rook b4, I have to pay attention. I played knight d4 to improve my knight. Rook c4 is okay, and queen d2. And now black decided to take b2, but that's wrong. Black must play c5, because after c5 I'm forced to take on f5, And this position is good for black because my attack is now blocked, and he has a very strong pressure on C and B file. And don't mind if I can take D5, because after rook takes F4 or rook takes C2, black now is very, very strong because B2 is under attack, A2 can be a target, F4 is bad, so my position, I think, is worse now. So, but he didn't play C5, was a very important move, C5 now, and he played rook B2. After rook B2, it gives me good chance to attack, and I played rook b3. Rook b3 is a very, very strong move, because now it's not easy for black to understand what to do. The only move that he can do is sacrifice the exchange. So the only move I think is take on c2, knight takes, rook takes, and okay, now this position I think is equal, because okay, I'm an exchange up, but black has the bishop strong, black has some pawns, so okay, it's not an easy position for me. But he played now, okay, he can move rook takes b3, because after rook b3 I take on b3 with a pawn, and you risk to lose the rook. For example, rook c5, queen b4, if queen e7 to defend the rook, simply knight f5, gf5, and rook e3, and I'm winning now. Because I'm threatening rook c3 and rook g3 at the same time, the only move to avoid rook c3 is defend the queen, maybe king f8 to defend the queen, and now I can play rook g3, and the queen is blocked. And if the rook will go away, I have this trick, rook g8, and I win the queen, so perfect. Very well, so this idea is very nice. And for this reason, he didn't take the rook, and he played the rook takes a2. But now after rook b8, okay, black is up 2 pawns, but now I have a very strong attack. King g7. You know, when you attack, it's very important, pay attention at the queen, so I played queen f2 to allow queen h4, so to involve the queen into the attack. And now black decided to play c5. And now I decide to sacrifice the knight, and I played queen h4. This is a very important decision. I calculate that, okay, to be honest, in this position, I had only a few seconds, something like 20 seconds, and I decided to sacrifice the piece with the very, very quick calculation. Why I can do that? Because I realized that also, if maybe it will take, okay, I can imagine I have a very interesting mate threats, but if I want, I can also have the perpetual check, so I'm sure that I'm lost. I'm not lost after that. I have queen f6, queen h4, queen f6, queen h4, so I can always avoid to lose the game, but I can always threaten checkmate, so this position is better for me. Now, black can defend, but black has to play rook a6 to avoid queen f6. He didn't play it, and after that, take, and queen d8, with a very interesting idea to attack. And okay, I think maybe black can draw, but it's hard. And now he played rook takes d4. He decided to take the piece, and now my position is winning. I played very quickly queen f6, king h6, queen h4 again, and then queen f6 again. Why? Because I remember you that when you play the tournaments, standard time control, usually you have 30 seconds for each move. And I played those two moves, queen f6, queen h4, queen f6 again, to have 1 minute extra to think more and have the time to think without pressure and see the checkmate for sure. So after that, I realized that there is the checkmate, and I played rook g8. And now my simple threat is queen g5, and he must take the pawn. And now h4. Now queen g5 is coming. How can black avoid queen g5? Rook g4 maybe, but now I have another mate. Queen g7, king h5. Now the rook is blocking the king, escaping from g4, and queen h7, and now mate. To be honest, after queen g7, he resigns. Yes, because there is mate and next move, and the game finished in this way. So it was very interesting a very interesting game, very sharp. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you have questions, feel free to comment below. I will be happy to answer you. Okay, so for this video is all. Thank you again. See you soon for the next videos. Bye. Remember to follow me on social networks and share the video with your friends. Thanks!